Oh my god, here's a little version of it. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Oh god. Oh, it lagged.
The fucking freeze.
Just fucking lagged.
These invaders will not find an easy conquest. No challenge.
What's up, gamers? I've been playing a lot of PoE 2, and I made a lot of builds, but this one today, I think I gotta share it. So, this is a warrior that is based off of Ben's Titan that he made, that involves using Herald of Ice with a bunch of links to blow up screens with a Cultist Great Hammer, right? A mace. It uses Giant's Blood. This particular build uses Giant's Blood to wield it as a one-hander, tripling our attribute cost, which is negated, of course, by the vertex we have on, reducing the 600 strength we need to 300 strength we need. It's a Warbringer that uses Turtle Charm. This was the initial desire for me to roll this class, was to use Turtle Charm plus his Fallen. Now, this is probably not a unique thing I've done here, but this is my adaptation of it. If someone else has done this, I'm sorry. But there's only, 5 things in the game to pick from, so surely there's going to be some overlap eventually. So Ben opts for Titan. I've opted for Warbringer. I think Warbringer is great. This allows us to block all damage, and Fallen makes our block lucky. I've mounted a 63% block, so you can actually get a Fallen with minus 12% max block, which will be cheap. It's like 20x for that, and get 2 of them because you need a weapon swap for this setup, and I'll explain why. So let's go over the gear real quickly. Well, before we do that, this is our offense. We like to break armor. If you want more defenses, you can probably go Jade. I don't think this is that good because we have scavenged plating that gives us PDR, as well as thorns and some armor. So, and we'll always have 10 stacks of that. So I think that we need some offensive capability, as this is more of like an invincible build rather than like a giga boss nuker, right? So this uses 2 skill trees. But first, before I do the skill trees, I'd like to probably show you the gear real quick. You'll need a Cultist Great Hammer, the base. This one's 600 PDPS, nothing crazy. You'll need a second hammer that does damage. You don't care about the base. Just get a two-handed mace that has high PDPS. This one's about 800. If you don't know how to calculate PDPS, if you're solo self-found, and you don't go to Trade League, take the minimum value and the maximum value to find the median. You do 621. This one, for example, is 621 PDPS plus 874. And then you divide that by 2, which will allow you to find the average. And then you multiply that by the attack speed of the weapon. In this case, it's 1.1. So you multiply that by 1.1. And this will equal out to about 800 PDPS. And that's how you find... It's a simple math problem since we don't have a Awakened Trade macro to easily find the damage of something. You can do that calculation. So, that's our weapon setup. 1 Cultist Great Hammer with a Giga weapon on the weapon swap. We use a Vertex. This one is integral to the build. This build does not work without it. So, unless you want to waste all of your points getting 600 strength and all of your affixes getting 600 strength, put this on. It's not armor, but it's okay. Eventually, when armor gets buffed, we can spec into Iron Reflexes and convert this evasion, and it actually becomes a decent base. Especially considering how OP Energy Shield is. This is about a Divine. It's nothing crazy. Necklace. Resistances. You do not need, and I repeat, Spirit. I don't know why I said that, but you don't need Spirit on your chest or this. You can use the whole build with the Spirit you get from the campaign. Now, why this is important is I have like, this is my old amulet. What is important? I haven't told you. Why wide barrier anoint is important is because we care about increased block chance as like one of our main stats. This is our best stat in the game, and it's so hard to get it. It's 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, you know. It's hard. There's a beautiful little wheel here if you want to cook. You can get 555 and then this. But yeah, there's 7% on jewels. I have 3 jewels with that in them. It's up here. Jewels are different in this game. And then that, and then that. So yeah, I have 4 jewels. So 7%, 7%, 7%. They're very cheap. You can combo this. You'll need one of your jewels to have 5% increased chance to bleed. So just note that. One affix of that, and then the rest is increased block chance stat. And that'll get you to 63%. This is an expensive anoint, so you don't have to get it. If you opt for shield expertise, which is down here, if I could locate it, there it is, 12%. So it's significantly less. As you can see, we get 59%. This will make yours fallen cheaper, but every point of block you get is insanely valuable. I'm almost kicking myself for not having 64%, but 63% is the nice medium ground between damage, AoE, and survivability, I've found personally. So, anointed wide barrier, if you can afford it. It uses 2 isolation distilled emotions, so it's quite expensive, but that's okay. That's probably your most expensive part about this build, besides a Giga Hammer. Svalin, times 2. You can do -12 pretty comfortably here. I have -11. It's whatever. It's like 20 exalts for this item. Nothing crazy. I prefer flat cold on this, but this is just resistances. Maybe some strength and life if you want. Chest piece, resistances, and some life. That's all you need. You could probably do Cloak of Flame with this if you want to Giga Cook, but I found that the more you do in this game, the less success you have. So we're already doing something quirky with block, so probably don't go for that. But Cloak of Flame plus the belt that gives max fire resistance could be a play. It's called Inferno Clasp. You can corrupt this up to like 6 or 7% max fire res, and then if you're not familiar, you can use Cloak of Flame to convert your physical damage taken to fire. So then with 90 fire res, you can pretty much mitigate all physical damage. And so yeah, that's a thing you can do if you want. This is a very important item. It's very cheap. This allows your Herald of Ice to proc off itself and chain. So Herald of Ice will get nerfed, but this build will still probably work just fine. It just is going to be a little bit less crazy than it is right now. Very cheap, unique. Attack speed is nice quality of life for your clear. Other than that, you'll want flat damage and some res. I used to have these gloves. These were brain dead to get. They're so cheap. So 1x for your gloves. I just opted for a double damage roll. Res and life on your belt. Stun effectiveness and stun threshold is actually really good. I don't have it. And boots, I would opt for more stun threshold if I were to rebuy my boots or recraft my boots. Life flask, I'd prefer to have something instant. That's one of my upgrades I'll get, is an instant life flask. I just picked this up off the ground. And an instant mana flask. You'll need it because, as you can see from our mana costs,
I can't yet.
when you're chaining your totem plus your infernal cry on your hammer, you'll want to use mana flask to instantly recover it. You see how quick it is to restore it. So, other than that, I suppose we'll have to talk about our weapon swap and the skill tree that's associated with it. So, this is your clear, your cultist hammer tree. This is what you'll use for your cultist hammer. These nodes right here are extremely broken. The 8% AoE on attacks, they're everywhere, and they're very, very, very broken. So you'll path over here to get them. And those are all the sources of it, right? In addition, you'll use Resolute Technique. I didn't cover that, but yeah, both trees will use RT. So now if I weapon swap, you'll see a different tree. And this one focuses on bleed, bleed chance, bleed magnitude, and a little bit of armor break investment. Anything that's grayed out right here is your other tree. So when I weapon swap here, you'll see it change. So this is your 24 points in your weapon set 2. And this is like bleed chance and aggravation. On tree plus lacerate support, you can get your Hammer of the Gods to go to 95% bleed. You'll need to get 1 jewel that gives you 5% bleed chance. And that will cap your bleed, so you'll have a 100% chance to apply a bleed. So yeah, you pick up this wheel. You'll pick up this. And then you'll pick up this armor break stuff too. This gives a lot of damage. If you're a really high level Titan, you can experiment with picking this up inherently. High level warrior, high level Warbringer. You can experiment with picking this up normally on the normal tree and then speccing these on boss setup. So yeah, this wheel is just good inherently. Also, this rage wheel right here, you can take these 3 points and put them here if you would like a more tanky character that needs to be more stun immune. Just because you can block doesn't mean you can't be stunned. So you can get stunned on a block even though you take no damage. Your character kind of like jolts, right? So yeah, if you want to go one-handed, I'd recommend using a pickaxe. They have high base crit, very high base crit item. And yeah, you'd pick up this wheel or something. But yeah, these rage wheels are really nice. This is quality of life. You don't need it, but you can have it. It's pretty good, but I just don't have the points. I'm only level 90. But yeah, oh yeah, and you pick up this as well. And so now I'll swap back to the other tree. You'll drop like all this stuff, and this is the other tree. And I have to close the skill tree and then reopen it because my character hadn't actually swapped. And again, this is the other tree. It's that one. And here's this one. Once again. So that's your 2 trees. Went over the gear, went over that. Now I'd like to go over the gems for your character. And maybe a little bit of gameplay. Or like, I'll do gameplay, but maybe how to play the build as well. So yeah, a lot of weapon swapping, but fortunately you don't have to press the weapon swap bind. You can just use abilities that are bound to different weapon sets. So put your Hammer of the Gods on weapon set 2. That way, I'm on my clear right now. This is my clear setup. Whenever I use Hammer of the Gods, it'll swap my weapons, and now this comes down. Now, there's a little like thing that I don't know for sure. I've done a lot of testing, but we don't have like a training dummy to really confirm it. Like, you can confirm it if you're not lazy, but I'm lazy, I guess. And all the testing I've done, whether it be confirmation bias or not, I think bleeds do snapshot. So what I mean about that snapshotting is when I swap trees, I don't care about the AoE that much. All I care about is like bleeds and stuff. But Hammer of the Gods takes a while to come down, so I would like to attack the enemy while the Hammer of the Gods is waiting. So if I'm to attack them with my Mace Strike, it'll swap me back. So basically, is that Hammer of the Gods... See how I weapon swap back? Will that apply my other skill tree? Did it snapshot in time? Or is the damage impact relative to my current character's thing? I am almost certain it snapshots. So if it doesn't, though, I've made this link setup with armor break. It's not optimal, but I have this also tied to the second skill tree. So basically I can do this, and then while it's coming down, I can attack the guy and get a full armor break before the Hammer of the Gods hits. And if you're like tinfoil hat and don't believe it, you can do something similar to that. But you can also drop this if you know that it snapshots. This is your main ability, Mace Strike. It's literally the default attack. It's hilarious. This is very important. Cold Infusion. Magnified Effect, very important. More AoE, it multiplies. This is important because it gives us instant PDR and instant 10 stacks of Scavenge Plating whenever we break armor. So you'll just attack this, you'll attack, blow up the whole screen, and you'll get full armor plating. And then heft. And then I just hit level 90, so I have another thing. You can get more damage on this or more quality of life, whatever you want. You don't even need this even. This is like your main setup. Hammer of the Gods. You'll use Giga Damage and Bleed. Lacerate, Deep Cuts, and then Fist of War. This one's really smart. I don't know if this is Ben's tech or just Hammer of the God gamer tech, but I thought this was really cool because you can benefit always from Ancestral Boost or whatever. Fist of War. Armbreaker, you can drop this. This is not relevant, but here's the links. It's just like maim and like armor break stuff that synergizes hopefully with this guy. It's not like fully refined, obviously, but yeah. Shield charge. This is very important. These two are integral to it. Martial tempo and ingenuity. It's a shame we can't use martial tempo on our main attack, because we would attack so fast. But trust me when I say it's worth it on the shield charge, because you can see the cooldown and everything. And let's say I want to talk to Alva, but she's right here. I can like cancel it and then talk. So yeah, you can cancel. In addition to shield charge, we also have Infernal Cry. I like to quality all of these. I think it's important, especially something like Hammer of the Gods. But Infernal Cry is our rage dump. So basically, we will use our ancestral totem that has Font of Rage on it. Here's the links for ancestral totem. We just have Molten Blast and Scattershot on it to shotgun, and it kind of keeps the energy shield down so we can apply bleeds. If you break the energy shield, it will still apply the bleed, but sometimes it's nice to just keep the energy shield down, so you can just summon this guy and he'll just throw out molten strikes or molten blast to things. But you can see we have rage too, so whenever we pop our Infernal Cry, we'll consume 10 rage, and then we can use our Hammer of the Gods. And while that's coming down, you can even perfect strike too, and that's an ignite plus the Giga Dot, and they will just like turbo die. I don't always execute it perfectly, but that's the gameplay loop kind of. Is you want to put this down or be in combat to get a bunch of rage, pop your Infernal Cry, pop boom, and then pop your Hammer of the Gods, and then pop a Mana Flask, and then perfect strike them, or armor break. And I also have perfect strike on the second weapon because there's no point in applying it to the Cultist Hammer. The Cultist Hammer is literally just the Giga Clear. The rest is just damage. In addition to that, Herald of Ice, this is the entire build right here, is Herald of Ice. So you want to quality this. This 0.4 meters is incredibly important. You'll get long shot so it can snipe screens away, like a bunch of screens away, damage, cold pen, and cold mastery. This gives you artificial damage without having to get a bunch of int and dex. This is actually halved with vertex, so I could level this up to much higher. So I could do that, like maybe. I don't know if I'm like wasting too much time here, but so I would have to like make it, because Vertex doesn't think Vertex doesn't tell my character that I actually have this. So that's kind of an insane upgrade. Cool. Okay, now we have a Giga Herald of Ice. So that's pretty cool. Vertex is so good. I didn't even consider that, so all of the footage I have for this build is not with the Giga one. Wow. Literally a level 20 or a 19 Herald of Ice. Wow. Yeah, that's like it's probably insane now, because I didn't even know what the attack damage was before. Wow, yeah. So yeah, level 19 Herald of Ice on a strength stacker, by the way, just because of Vertex. So yeah, you really you can milk this thing for more. You can even put another aura in. It's like that you shouldn't be able to have something like a curse, like a vulnerability curse. It's like 7. You get like, honestly, I could probably put vulnerability in the build. Oh my gosh. Dude. You can literally put vulnerability in the build. Yo. Wait, vulnerability doesn't do anything if their armor's broken. Well, shit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you can cook with some stuff. But yeah, this just shows like you can do crazy stuff with Vertex. And then the last link is Scavenge Plating with Vitality and Cannibalism as your only other spirit, and then increased duration with Persistent. I'd like to cover just real quickly some other things. So block is very good. This build will let you tank so much stuff in the game. It really is one of the most comfy builds when it comes to just like running around. Like, you just don't die. But some of the things that do hurt you, and I don't know if this is bugged or if GGG wants it this way, are rare monster modifiers. So from Deadly Evolution, when you get all these, like, periodic fire explosions, the things that appear on the ground, like ground effects, like they will absolutely mess you up. So periodic fire explosion, volatiles, like trail of fire, periodic cold explosions, lightning storms, and then like intangibility. Like if you're trying to run away and you drop a Hammer of the Gods on the rare and you run away from the proximal tangibility, you kind of have to like roll back in last second. So yeah, those are things to note with like actual combat. And other than that though, yeah, we should be chilling on all the info. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully I did a decent job. I tried to keep it short, but it's probably not. And yeah, you take care now. I would like to do like a breach and a T18. So this is a T16, and then we want like corruption, and then we want irradiated too. And I'm looking. Oh, here we go. Burial Bog. I don't know if this is going to be the best map, but we'll get a boss out of it, and we'll get irradiated, and we'll get, yeah. So it just has like this build is very tanky, so you can run damage modifiers. This is just what I have on hand here. I didn't prep too much for this, but as you can see, we got a T18. Why is it that not? Why is the irradiated not showing up? Anyways, whatever. So this will be monster level 62. And I think I might have to turn down my graphics a little bit because I'm recording. So that's kind of sus. There's no breach in this one. Breach is really fun on this build. So I want to do texture, yeah, medium, and then I want downscale to like this. So bad, but I have to. So the build will look a lot less pretty now, but actually, I mean, it's a build showcase, right? So might as well make it look pretty, right? Yeah. Okay. So, and it's cool. Like you can set up your weapon swap, or you can just press your mace strike, and it will swap back. So, yeah. But you can see how whenever I attack, you can see that giant circle. It's my AOE, right? And you can see my defenses are insane. Like, I will die eventually, but this is like, imagine you're on augury and you press the lever, right? Like, I'm just getting sprayed on with chaos damage. Pot one pot. And yeah. It's a pretty nice build. So like now we have our first rare mob. So I press this. And they're kind of knocking me out of it. Yeah, he shroud walkered to me. But you can, if you want to, like if you don't mind this, you can just like kind of hit them and they die. Like this is, oh, it is monster 81. So we're missing one level, but there's literally no difference. Like I've done so many T18s. So this is, I guess, technically T17, even though it, on the map you saw that it had corruption plus the other one, but whatever. So you'll just kind of run around and you'll use your stampede intermittently to go faster. Rituals are really chill. You just like kind of wait till they clump up and hit them, and you're always going to be safe, except when you get absolutely chunked like that. But yeah, you just kind of like hit stuff and they all die. It's quite nice. Yeah, sometimes that's what I mean about you getting chunked randomly. Life is such a terrible resource. You can see that I'm very invested into life. I have life rolls on all my gear, and I'm still getting chunked. So this build will definitely get buffed in the future. The Herald of Ice thing is probably going to get nerfed. It's definitely bugged right now. But, like, yeah, you can... Like, it's just so satisfying. Pop. These things will kill you. So that's what I'm talking about. Periodic fire explosions. They are not considered to be cool by GGG. But yeah, the instant life flask can make your life a lot better. You can see that I also animation canceled my Hammer of the Gods there. So I would probably opt for a perfect strike here to kill him. That will do damage through block from my testing. I could be completely off touch with that, but I don't even bother anymore. Why is he looting? Yeah, it just kills like screens away. That's why Breach is so fun, because it just like, you attack and your whole game lags and it's like everything's dead. Yeah, you want to be spamming your shield charge. I'm just kind of having fun doing the showcase right now. Trying to be like a bit slower with my stuff to show like defenses. But yeah, I have a whole thing of mobs surrounding me and they're just, I don't even know. Right? And you can see my character getting a little bit stunned there. So even if you block, you can still be stunned. So that's where the 50% stun threshold comes from. I just think that the damage is like pretty fun from that. And it allows you to pop your Infernal Cry a lot more often. Because you're going to have Rage a lot more often. Here's a boss. So I kind of want to apply Armor Break. So you can see the Armor Break right there. It's relative to their stats. So this is where, for example, we would kind of want to use our Armor Break. I'm just taking it slow here. But you'll use your Armor Break skill or whatever. So now he's at like negative 18,000 armor. And then what I can do here is get my Rage, pop that, and then, oop, not Perfect Strike. Do that. So I kind of wasted my proc there, but yeah, you can see the bleed's pretty potent. Now, if it's a Titan, it'll like turbo one-shot it. But this is a T18 or whatever with all the, it's like level 4 bosses or whatever. It's kind of fun that he summons monsters because, yeah. But yeah, you're just so safe with things. Like, you just can't really die, which is fun. But yeah, once I get enough Rage, I pop this and I pop that. You can see how much mana it uses. But yeah, you'll always land your bleed. And yep. Once there's a stun, you can go in for like a Perfect Strike. There's an Ignite on him. And can summon our totem, which we haven't been doing. Pop this, pop Hammer of the Gods. That's kind of your gameplay cycle. And he's dead. So the bleed's pretty good. I'm still on the fence if it snapshots or not, so I don't know. I kind of want to like stay on my other weapon set, honestly.
I can't yet. I'm not ready.
But it's pretty fast, like, and if you ever like are going toward, if you, let's say I go towards like a dead end here, like if I shield charge towards this and I realize it's a dead end, you can like roll and cancel it. So, or if there's like a waypoint here, but you're like shield charging at this distance, you can just roll right into it and click. You don't have to ride the whole thing. But yeah, just some crypt tip shield charge memes. But yeah, I think the main draw is the mapping of it. Like, it's so chill compared to other Titan builds, or sorry, warrior builds that are just kind of bedge. What, dude? He counters me. I have to Hammer the Gods this one guy. It doesn't even hit him, dude. He's bugged. Guy's like no clipping out of the map, dude. Yeah, I think this is the real draw to everything. One thing you can do with essences too is you can pop the thing before it ever comes down. Oh, a speed shrine, that's fun. Bong. I feel like an actual PoE 1 build now. Yeah, I think that's like one of the main things. Like, it feels like a PoE 1 build in some ways, which is like what you really long for, right? But yeah, it's your shield charge. Oh, so juicy. Your shield charge is scaled off of your movement speed, so basically you're gonna want to like always have these up whenever you're shield charging. So like if you've killed in the last 4 seconds, pop your shield charge kind of thing. You'll get a lot like faster shield charges out of it.
I need more time.
But yeah, the cooldown's really not bad on this thing.
I can't yet.
But yeah, pretty much the whole map. Yeah, like the whole meme is that you just kind of like block stuff. Very high block. Oh, you got me. Oh, he got me twice in a row. That's insane. Bang. Yeah, that's the whole build. Bit long of a video, but you know, the uncut has its own little charm to it, right? So yeah. And Giga Focus? No. Well, yeah, that's the build. Closing thoughts. It's fun, very fun. Herald of Ice will definitely get nerfed, but the clear will still be insane. Like, these nodes are so stupid. Like, they're like, this is well worth a point to spend. Like they're just the AoE with attack nodes are, I mean, you could cut them down in half at this point. They're so good. So that's cool. Armor will get buffed, at which point you could probably spec into Iron Reflexes. Vertex really allows you to pick up stuff you shouldn't pick up. I could easily drop so much of this int and strength and pick up more dex and get hybrid bases, hybrid ES armor. And then you're playing PoE 1 with Iron Reflexes with like Dragon Scale or whatever. And like Dragon Scale Gauntlets or whatever they're called. And then you're like chilling.
51 month watching this